Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India News Hour, India's voice to the world. I'm Preeti Kaur. Coming up in the next 1 hour. President Droupadi Murmu arrives in Luanda, the first ever visit by an Indian head of state to Angola to hold bilateral talks with Angolan counterpart João Manuel Gonçalves on issues of mutual interest. US airlines cancel over 1,400 flights on day 2 of government-mandated flight cuts. As government shutdown disrupts air travel, reduction in flights to rise further in the coming days. Syrian President Ahmed al-Shara arrives in the United States for a landmark official visit to meet US President Trump at the White House on Monday, first visit by a Syrian president since the country's independence in 1946. Just days after Typhoon Fung-wong wreaked havoc across Southeast Asia, another Typhoon Fung-wong next approaches the Philippines, expected to make landfall by Sunday night. And in FIDE World Cup 2025, world champion Gukesh crashes out. 4 Indians including R. Pragananda, Arjun Ergaizi, Pentala Harikrishna and Pranav V progress to round 4. In a growing sign of India's deepening engagement with Africa, President Droupadi Murmu, the first ever Indian head of state, arrived in Luanda, the capital of Angola, on the first leg of a 2-nation visit to the continent of Africa. Foreign Minister of Angola received President Murmu at the airport. The trip holds immense importance, especially as India and Angola mark the 40 years of their diplomatic ties this year. President Murmu will be addressing the Angolan parliament and interacting with members of Indian diaspora during her visit. From Angola, her next stop will be the neighboring country of Botswana. President Droupadi Murmu's itinerary also includes interacting and engaging with members of the Indian community living in Angola. DD India's correspondent Akash Popli spoke to Samuel Mithai, Vice President of the Indian Chamber of Commerce in Angola, about the President's visit and also its significance for the Indian diaspora.
Our President visit, the Angolans will be considered a great achievement for them because they also wanted India to come over here, and they consider now India is one of the fast growing country, and then there are India's participation in this investment and participations, they are expecting a lot. So our President visit will be a great achievement for our country.
Nilesh Mehta, President of the Indian community in Angola, feels India and Angola have great potential to collaborate in different sectors such as aviation, mining, ports, healthcare, among other areas.
After 40 years, bilateral relations, the first time the President of India is visiting Angola, and there is a huge potential in the various sectors, as I said, that in the trading sector, in the health sector, in the service sectors, even in the aviation sectors also, I can say. They just opened the new airport, and there is a huge potential and possibilities for the ports, for the mining sectors, for the industrialization. As far as the Indians are very good in the creating the small-scale jobs. So our focus as an Indian community, our focus is to creating more jobs over here in Angola, and strengthen the relations.
Vice President C.P. Radhakrishnan reached Bengaluru on Sunday to begin his first official visit to the South Indian state of Karnataka since assuming office. The Vice President received a warm reception at the airport from Karnataka Governor Thawar Chand Gehlot, Union Minister H.D. Kumaraswamy and other dignitaries, who greeted him with garlands and floral tributes on a ceremonial red carpet. A guard of honor was promptly accorded to the Vice President upon his arrival. The visit underscores strengthened federal ties and Radhakrishnan's commitment to engaging with regional leaders amid ongoing national development initiatives. Uttarakhand is celebrating the silver jubilee of its formation on Sunday. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will visit Dehradun, the capital of Uttarakhand, to participate in a program marking the 25th anniversary of Uttarakhand's formation. During the visit, the Prime Minister will inaugurate and lay the foundation stones of various development projects. These projects cater to several key sectors including drinking water, irrigation, technical education, energy, urban development, sports and skill development. Prime Minister will also release a support amount of 620 million rupees to more than 28,000 farmers directly into their bank accounts under PM Fasal Bima Yojana. Prime Minister will also launch a commemorative postal stamp to mark the occasion and address the gathering. Prime Minister Narendra Modi extended greetings on the 25th anniversary of Uttarakhand's statehood, praising the Himalayan region's accelerated progress in tourism and diverse sectors. Prime Minister Modi posted on X, and I quote him, "On the 25th anniversary of the establishment of Uttarakhand, I extend my heartfelt best wishes to all my brothers and sisters of the state. Nestled in the lap of nature, this divine land is today gaining a new pace of progress in every field along with tourism. On this special occasion, I pray for happiness, prosperity, good fortune and excellent health of the humble, hard-working people here." India's Minister of Commerce and Industry, Piyush Goyal, visited Melbourne, Australia. Piyush Goyal held bilateral discussions with Australia's Minister of Trade and Tourism, Senator Don Farrell, and Minister for Skills and Training, Andrew Giles. The discussions focused on unlocking the full potential of the India-Australia Economic Partnership, including through an ambitious and balanced India-Australia Comprehensive Economic Cooperation Agreement. India's Minister of State for External Affairs, Pabitra Margarita, inaugurated the new Chancery building of the Embassy of India in Bolivia and called it an important milestone in bolstering the diplomatic engagement between the two countries. In a social media post, the minister said, "The new Chancery building of the Embassy of India in La Paz marks an important milestone in advancing India's diplomatic engagement with Bolivia." He added that our presence will deepen the bonds of friendship and cooperation between our two nations. During his visit, the minister also met representatives of Believe in Business associations and entrepreneurs and discussed ways to strengthen bilateral trade and investment, particularly in minerals, textiles, tourism, and the sector of pharmaceuticals. He also encouraged Believe in Business leaders to visit India and explore opportunities in its dynamic and growing market. The Minister of State also met members of the Indian community and Believe in cultural groups devoted to Indian dance, music, and yoga. He appreciated their efforts in promoting India's values and traditions in Bolivia. The minister said that their goodwill and dedication, along with the vibrant initiatives of Indian Embassy in Bolivia, strengthen our friendship and people-to-people ties. The minister also engaged with alumni of the Indian Technical and Economic Cooperation Program in Bolivia. Participants recounted enriching experiences which ranged from professional training in India to others. Margarita expressed delight at the program's role in fostering mutual growth, with delegations exchanging insights on sustainable partnerships. Campaigning for the second and final phase of the Bihar Assembly elections will conclude on Sunday evening. In this phase, polling will be held on the 11th of November in 122 assembly constituencies spread across 20 districts. More than 3.7 crore voters will decide the electoral fate of 1,302 candidates, including 136 women. On the last day of campaigning today, senior campaigners and top leaders from the NDA, the Mahagathbandhan and other parties are scheduled to address several public meetings and election rallies across the state. Our correspondent Deepika Mato is joining us from Gaya to get us more. As we speak, we tell you that campaigning for the second and final phase of Bihar Assembly elections concludes today. Deepika, good morning. We tell our viewers that the campaigning for the second phase will end today. You get us more as to what are you picking up from the ground. How does the poll contest look like this time around?
Good morning, Preeti. We are in Bihar, and Bihar is all set to go into the polls for the second phase of assembly elections. Phase 1 was a really successful one, and similarly, all the contenders are expecting and urging the voters to come out in large numbers, as as we saw in the phase 1 of elections. Today is the last day of campaigning till 5 p.m. according to Indian Standard Time, and after that we'll observe silence period till the 11th of November morning, when the polling opens officially at 6 o'clock across 122 constituencies of Bihar. When we talk about the political scenario here, there are three main parties here. One is the NDA alliance, the second one is the Mahagathbandhan or the Grand Alliance, and the third one is Prashant Kishore's Jan Suraj party. All three parties are doing aggressive campaigning, going home to home, going door to door, going village to village, and each of the candidate rather is holding more than 19 to 20 rallies in a single day, because Bihar is a very vast area, is a very large area, and going and covering 122 constituencies is itself a task. So the campaigning is going on really aggressively. We also talked to the voters of Jahanabad, Araval, as well as other cities like Sitamarhi, because yesterday Prime Minister Narendra Modi himself did a rally in Sitamarhi, which is a sacred city, the holy place where goddess Sita took her birth. So the promises are to rebuild, that is by the central government, that is to rebuild the temple there into a grand temple. And when we talk to the voters there who are going to poll in the second phase of election, they said that they really await that development, because that will create more job opportunities and help in bettering the economy of the state itself, because that remains the key issue for the voters here, which is employment opportunities, creating more job opportunities, and also bettering the economy so that people can stay in Bihar only and develop their own ways to work, develop their own ways to earn, and can have more and better opportunities in order to have a good education system as well, and of course better healthcare facilities. Preeti.
All right. Also, Deepika, get us the sense of how does the poll contest, you've mentioned, but then who will be the star contenders this time around? What are the permutations and combinations that we can look forward to?
When we talk about the second phase of election, we saw many star contenders in the first phase itself. There were many singers as well who were contesting from different parties. But when we talk about the second phase of election, it is largely dominated by the caste system, as seen in Jahanabad and Araval districts, and especially the Magad region that hosts many districts there, because there is a very stark contrast between caste system here. It is not only about Muslims and Yadavs, but it is also about Bhumihars, who are largely 2.5% of the population. But both the parties, especially the NDA and the Grand Alliance, they are contesting many Bhumihar contenders as well, because in order to win the trust of the voters, they want to play on the ground of caste as well. However, when we talked, the Bhumihar candidates themselves said that they want to go beyond the caste system. They want to focus on development this time, because that is the main agenda. When we heard about one of the star, Pracharak, the contender Chirag Paswan as well, he said that this time the contest in Bihar underlines two key areas, which is the MY factor, Mahila and youth. So Mahila, which means women, and of course Yuva and youth, they are the key focus areas this time. So they want to go beyond that image of star contenders, beyond that image of being only a caste-based political system. They want to this time focus on infrastructural development and all the causes, all the issues and all the problems which are related to the grassroots level of the different districts, of the villages, and of course of the 122 constituencies who are going into the poll on the 11th of November. So here, when we talk about the star contenders and celebrities who are campaigning, this time they want to, more than the face value, they want to focus on the issues, based on the issues and what the people demand, so that they can woo maximum number of voters, because on both the sides we can see alliances coming together, be it NDA or be it Mahagathbandhan. Preeti.
All right, Deepika, we leave it here. Thank you so much for joining in with those inputs from Bihar. So that was our correspondent Deepika joining us from Gaya in Bihar, telling us more about how does the contest look like in the second phase of elections, which will be held in the state on 11th of November. Sitamarhi in the Indian state of Bihar is known for its famous Punora Dam, the birthplace of goddess Sita. The Dham plays, in fact, Punora Dham, and this Dham plays a crucial role in election as its development-led promises drive voters' mandate. DD India's Deepika Mahato reports from Sitamarhi.
Team DD India has now reached Sitamarhi, one of the ancient districts of Bihar and revered for many reasons. And most importantly, this is the birthplace of goddess Sita. The pond that you can see behind me is exactly the place where Ma Sita took her birth. Now, Sitamarhi is going into the elections and going for the polling in the second phase of Bihar Assembly elections, which is scheduled for the 11th of November. Let's now talk to the voters here. What exactly do they demand? What are the benefits they are getting from the government? And what is the scenario when we talk about job employment?
Sitamarhi is home to the sacred Punara Dham, a historical place located in Sitamarhi district of Bihar, which is considered to be the birthplace of Mata Sita. Famous for its mythological aspect, the district of Sitamarhi now gears up to poll on the upcoming 11th November. As Sitamarhi gets ready, Prime Minister Narendra Modi once again lauded government's initiative of developing the Punara Dham into a grand temple.
हम इस क्षेत्र को रामायण सर्किट से जोड़ रहे हैं। सीतामढ़ी से अयोध्या के लिए सीधी रेल सेवा भी इसी प्लान का हिस्सा है। अयोध्या में सीतामढ़ी के दामाद जी का भव्य मंदिर बन गया है। अब माता के मायके की बारी है। पुनौरा धाम की भव्यता अब पूरी दुनिया देखेगी।
Development factor remains the key for voters, as they said that the development of Punara Dham will benefit the district and also help in uplifting the status of the region with more tourist and business opportunities.
मोदी जी जहाँ हैं वहाँ विकास ही विकास होता है, ठीक है। और उनकी इस माँ की असीम कृपा है कि हमारे आदरणीय मोदी जी को प्रेरणा मिला कि चलो अब मैं रामलला को देख लिया, अब मैया को देखें। तो मैया का यहाँ शिलान्यास किए हैं और यहाँ भव्य मंदिर बनेगा और एक पर्यटक स्थल बनेगा, जिससे इस पुनौरा गांव के सारे बेरोजगार का रोजगार यहाँ मिलेगा।
While the development of Sita Janki Mandir remains a key factor, the youth now demands employment opportunities.
यूजर चाहते हैं, वो रोजगार चाहते हैं और क्या चाहते। जो अभी इसका निर्माण भवन भी हो रहा है, बहुत बढ़िया, खुशी की बात है। हम लोग भी सीतामढ़ी से हैं और इसके ये बात सुन के हम लोग को बहुत खुशी हुई कि हमारी सीता माँ की जानकी की भव्य मंदिर बनने वाली, जैसे कि अयोध्या में माँ ये भगवत राम जी की जो मंदिर बनी, ऐसे मेरी माँ सीता की भी बनेगी।
Sitamarhi awaits tourist attraction with the development of Punara Dham, and the development-led promises has the trust of voters who believe that this can be a big game changer for their livelihood.
So the voters here are bound to get a lot of benefits with the development of the Punara Dham, the birthplace of goddess Sita. This is what the voters have to say here in Sitamarhi, because it is going to give immense benefits for their jobs, for their different opportunities. With camera person Manmohan, this is Deepika reporting from Sitamarhi for DD India.
Sitamarhi, revered for goddess Sita, is all set to vote on the 11th of November. It is a constituency where women empowerment remains a key focus, as the region too worships goddess Sita. DD India's Deepika interacted with the women voters to understand the poll dynamics this time around.
Women have always been the key focus for development here in India, and when it comes to elections, especially in Bihar, this is also the center of focus this time. In Sitamarhi, the focus is again on women and their empowerment. Let's now talk to the women power of Sitamarhi and what exactly do they want this election.
बिहार में मैं बिल्कुल चाहती हूँ कि बदलाव आए। यहाँ बिहार के लोग जो बाहर जाके नौकरी ढूंढ रहे हैं, उन्हें बाहर ना जाना पड़े, वो अपने बिहार में आके काम करें। रोजगार के लिए जो परेशान है सब, यहाँ पे फैक्ट्रियाँ बनवाएं, यहाँ पे लोग काम करवाएं, तो यहाँ पे लोगों को बाहर नहीं जाना पड़ेगा। महिलाएं भी यहीं पे पढ़ेंगी। सभी लड़कियों को ये इधर ही रहना पड़े, पढ़ाई के लिए बाहर ना जाना पड़े, ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा लोग यहाँ पे अपना करे काम।
So the voters here are bound to get a lot of benefits with the development of the Punara Dham, the birthplace of goddess Sita. This is what the voters have to say here in Sitamarhi, because it is going to give immense benefits for their jobs, for their different opportunities. With camera person Manmohan, this is Deepika reporting from Sitamarhi for DD India, Bihar.
All right, you're watching DD India News. We're heading for a short break, but after the break, inauguration of Punat Sangchu 2 hydroelectric project on the agenda during Prime Minister Modi's two-day Bhutan visit starting 11th of this month. Guwahati skies to radiate with air display as Indian Air Force is set to mark its 93rd anniversary celebrations. National Entrepreneurship Day being observed today with focus on talent and achievements of Indian entrepreneurs. Welcome back. After the break, you're watching DD India News Hour. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be on a two-day visit to Bhutan from 11th of this month. During the visit, Prime Minister Modi and King of Bhutan, Jigme Khesar Namgyel Wangchuk, will inaugurate the 1,020-megawatt Punat Sangchu 2 hydroelectric project. Now, this project is jointly developed by India and Bhutan. The Prime Minister will also attend the celebrations dedicated to the 70th birth anniversary of the 4th King of Bhutan, Jigme Singye Wangchuk, and also meet his counterpart, Tshering Tobgay. Prime Minister Modi will participate in the Global Peace Prayer Festival and offer prayers to the holy relics at Tashi Chodzong in Thimphu. A portion of the holy relics of Lord Buddha brought from India was enshrined at Thimphu's prominent monastery, Tashi Chodzong, which is considered the seat of Bhutan's highest spiritual and political institutions. Now, according to the Indian Embassy at Thimphu, Prime Minister of Bhutan, Tshering Tobgay, other ministers of the Himalayan Kingdom and senior Lopens of the central monastic body joined Virendra Kumar, India's Minister for Social Justice and Empowerment, at the enshrinement ceremony. In a social media post, the Ministry of Culture said that relics will be enshrined for public veneration at the Kyonre Hall of Tashi Chodzong in Thimphu from 8th to 18th of November, marking a moment of deep spiritual unity between India and Bhutan. Located within the Tashi Chodzong, a fortress and monastery, Grand Kyonre is one of the most prominent halls. Called the Piprawa Relics of Lord Buddha, these were enshrined at the National Museum in New Delhi. This is the second time these sacred relics have been sent to Bhutan from India. In other news, at the Belem Climate Summit ahead of COP30, Dr. Arunabh Ghosh, CEO, Council on Energy, Environment and Water, and COP30 Special Envoy representing South Asia, addressed the Leaders' Summit on a thematic session on energy transition. The South Asia envoy to COP30, Dr. Arunabh Ghosh, highlighted the story of India and South Asia. He said that India has electrified 130 million people in 18 months, delivered clean cooking and fuels to over 100 million households, while simultaneously building out a clean energy infrastructure, which is the 4th largest in the world.
My country, India, electrified 130 million people in 18 months, delivered clean cooking and fuels to over 100 million households, while simultaneously building out a clean energy infrastructure, which is the 4th largest in the world. Our analysis at CEW suggests that India's current climate policies will help bend its emissions curve and reduce CO2 emissions by 4 billion tons between 2020 and 2030. So to bridge the ambition and the implementation gaps, we must first fill the perception gap. We must recognize the countries, cities, and companies in the Global South that are meeting their goals ahead of time with a bias for action.
The United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change announced that the 30th conference of the parties, known as COP30, will commence on 10th of November in Belém, Brazil. The United Nations Climate Change Secretariat released its latest quarterly update ahead of COP30, detailing progress across critical areas of global climate action. The report covers advancements in mitigation, adaptation, transparency, Article 6 carbon markets, climate finance, and engagement with non-party stakeholders, including businesses, cities, and youth. It also highlights the work of regional collaboration centers supporting developing nations in implementing climate strategies. 3 major reports issued last month assessed national adaptation plans, updated nationally determined contributions, and biennial transparency reports providing essential data for negotiations. Now, these milestones underscore the preparatory momentum leading into the November 10th conference in Belém, where nations aim to strengthen commitments and secure finance for a resilient, low-carbon future. India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar conveyed official greetings to Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister Prasar Bharati and the people of Cambodia on their 72nd Independence Day on Sunday. Minister Jaishankar highlighted the value of broad-based cooperation rooted in shared civilizational linkages. Coinciding with the celebrations, 2 districts in Kho Kong province, Bottom Sakor and Sri Ambal, were declared mine-free during the ceremonies attended by bilateral officials. This achievement stems from a $5 million grant assistance from India provided in June 2025, advancing sustainable development and regional security through humanitarian demining efforts. The Indian Air Force is all set to stage a spectacular air show over the Brahmaputra in Guwahati on Sunday, marking the 93rd anniversary of the force. The flying display will be held from 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. IST, allowing people to enjoy the spectacle from both the northern and southern banks of the river. The event will showcase the precision, professionalism and prowess of the IAF, offering citizens a rare opportunity to witness the nation's aerial might up close. The lineup will feature some of IAF's most advanced aircraft, including the indigenous light combat aircraft Tejas, Rafale and the Surya Kiran aerobatic team. This year's Air Force Day celebrations revolve around the theme Infallible, Impervious and Precise. This theme underscores the IAF's commitment to operational excellence, resilience and precision. The Indian Army's Western Command announced on Sunday that Kharga warriors from Meerut's Ram Division executed a high-tempo river crossing exercise, validating mechanized flotation and bridging techniques. This operation underscores the critical role of speed, lethality, precision and synergy in contemporary warfare, enabling forces to overcome natural barriers swiftly. The exercise displays notions that waterways hinder military advances, positioning water as a traversable asset against adversaries. Under Kharga Corps, these drills enhance operational readiness along India's western frontiers. The Additional Director General of Public Information announced that the 11th edition of exercise Mitra Shakti will occur from November 10th to 23rd at the Foreign Training Node in Belagavi. Indian and Sri Lankan armies will enhance joint operations in urban and semi-urban terrain, fostering defence cooperation, mutual trust and regional peace. The annual event alternates between the nations. Last year's edition in Sri Lanka involved Rajputana Rifles and Gajaba Regiment personnel sharing counter-terrorism tactics. On the occasion of National Entrepreneurship Day in India, focus is once again on talent and achievement of the Indian entrepreneurs. From small-scale businesses to unicorn startups, targeted reforms by the government have played a key role in improving ease of doing business and creating newer opportunities for the youth. Here's a detailed report.
National Entrepreneurship Day is celebrated annually on November 9th in India. The nation has taken decisive steps to make it easier to start, run and grow a business. From digital single window clearances to large-scale regulatory cleanups, The focus is on creating a predictable and supportive business environment. These changes save time, cut costs, and inspire confidence among entrepreneurs and investors.
पिछले 11 साल में एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप, उद्यमशीलता को बहुत बड़ी ताकत मिली। आज लाखों स्टार्टअप्स टियर 2, टियर 3 सिटी में देश की अर्थशक्ति को, देश के इनोवेशन को ताकत दे रहे हैं। उसी प्रकार से मुद्रा योजना से हमारे देश के करोड़ों नौजवान, उसमें भी हमारी बेटियां, करोड़ों करोड़ों लोग मुद्रा से लोन लेकर के अपना खुद का कारोबार कर रहे हैं। खुद तो अपने पैरों पर खड़े हुए हैं, लेकिन औरों को भी पैरों पर खड़े रहने की ताकत देते हैं। वे भी एक प्रकार से हर व्यक्ति को आत्मनिर्भर बनाने का अवसर दे रही है।
India is now the third largest startup ecosystem in the world after the US and China. There are over 1.9 lakh startups in India today. These startups have generated more than 17 lakh jobs. India holds 39th position in World Competitiveness Index 2024. Over 400 schemes support female entrepreneurs. India is the fourth largest economy in the world and is fast moving towards the next pedestal. The nation's development journey is energized by the aspirations and achievements of its entrepreneurs. Bureau Report, DD India.
You're watching DD India News Hour. A quick break ahead, but after the break, US President Trump recommends abolishing Obamacare and redirecting federal healthcare spending directly to individual Americans. Conservative Rodrigo Paz sworn in as Brazil's new president, ending 2 decades of left rule. Powerful tornado hits Brazil, damaging 90% of the town's structures and displacing thousands. Welcome back. After the break, you're watching DD India News Hour. The US Federal Aviation Administration reports that 1,460 flights were cancelled on Sunday. Now, this is the second day of mandated reductions at 40 major US airports amid the ongoing federal government shutdown, now in its 39th day. Thousands of other flights face delays, with air traffic control staffing shortages affecting 37 towers and centers, including in Atlanta, New York, San Francisco, Chicago, and New York. Ground delays average to about 4.7 hours at Atlanta. The shutdown has furloughed or unpaid 13,000 controllers and 50,000 security screeners, prompting 20 to 40% absenteeism. The cuts rose to 6% last week and will be 10% by November 14th. Meanwhile, US Senate Majority Leader John Thune has noted positive bipartisan talks towards temporary funding with a planned Sunday session. US President Trump on Saturday urged Senate Republicans to abolish Obamacare and redirect federal health care spending directly to individual Americans. When we talk of this, Trump in a Truth Social post wrote, and I quote, "I am recommending to Senate Republicans that the hundreds of billions of dollars currently being sent to money-sucking insurance companies in order to save the bad health care provided by Obamacare be sent directly to the people so that they can purchase their own much better healthcare and also have money left over." He added that, in other words, take from the big bad insurance companies, give it to the people, and terminate per dollar spent the worst healthcare anywhere in the world, Obamacare.
Certain areas are being left. We determined that
the post marks Trump's latest push to revive his long-running campaign against the Affordable Care Act, dubbed Obamacare a centerpiece of former President Barack Obama's domestic legacy. Congress remains deadlocked over government funding, with health care programs and insurer subsidies among the major budget sticking points fueling the shutdown. Syria's President Ahmed al-Shara arrived in Washington on Saturday for a historic official visit, the first by a Syrian leader since 1946. His arrival comes a day after the U.S. removed him from its terrorism blacklist. Shara, who led rebel forces to overthrow Bashar al-Assad last year, will meet President Trump at the White House on Monday. The two leaders first met in Riyadh earlier this year during Trump's regional tour. U.S. officials expect discussions on Syria joining the U.S.-led coalition against ISIS. Washington also plans to establish a base near Damascus to oversee humanitarian aid and regional developments. The State Department said delisting Shara acknowledges Syria's progress towards stability and political reform. Bolivia's Congress confirmed Rodrigo Paz as president on Saturday, restoring diplomatic ties with the United States after 17 years and pledging to end economic isolation. The 58-year-old conservative, son of a former leader, swore oath amid applause and heavy rain, vowing God, family and country. Paz inherits inflation above 20%, depleted dollar reserves and chronic fuel shortages caused by subsidy policies under outgoing socialist rule. He promises lower taxes, fiscal discipline and capitalism for all while preserving social programs. Delegations from over 70 nations attended the ceremony. Let's get to updates from West Asia now. Israel Defense Forces announced on Saturday that Chief of General Staff Lieutenant General Eyal Zamir met the family of Lieutenant Hadar Golden, who was killed in the 2014 Gaza conflict, pledging to recover the remains still held by Hamas. Zamir updated them on intelligence progress after reports of a Hamas-led search in Israeli-controlled Rafah tunnel. The military reaffirmed commitment to repatriate Golden and all fallen hostages under the October 10th ceasefire. Hamas has returned 23 bodies and Golden's remains are among the 4 still held. Hundreds of Israelis gathered at Hostages Square in central city of Tel Aviv to demand for the release of all the captives' bodies still held by Hamas in Gaza and for a state investigation on the 7th October 2023 attacks. Many survivors of captivity and torture in Gaza also participated in the regular weekly rally and called for swift completion of the truce hostage deal that U.S. President Trump brokered between Israel and Hamas. With dabke, dances, cheers and emotional speeches, 150 Gazan students celebrate their graduation from Al-Aqsa University in Khan Yunis amid a ceasefire between Israel and Hamas. It is first class to graduate from the university since conflict erupted in the territory more than 2 years ago. Typhoon Fung-wong, locally named Yuan, has intensified towards super typhoon status. Philippines Atmospheric, Geophysical and Astronomical Services Administration reported that with winds up to 185 kilometers per hour, the typhoon is predicted to make landfall on Sunday night on the eastern coast of Philippines. The typhoon has started affecting Catanduanes municipality in the Philippines. It spans 1,500 kilometers, already causing heavy rains across eastern provinces. Up to 200 millimeters of rainfall risks floods and landslides in Bicol and Samar. Evacuations are underway in low-lying areas with marine activities halted. This follows Typhoon Kalmegi, which killed 204 people in the Philippines and 5 in Vietnam, displacing thousands. The Philippines evacuated more than 100,000 residents from eastern and northern areas as Super Typhoon Fung-wong is strengthening. Highest alert signal number 5 covers southeastern Luzon, including Catanduanes and coastal Camarines provinces. Metro Manila faces signal number 3. Sustained winds reached 185 kilometers per hour with gusts to 230. Over 300 flights were cancelled. Power lines in eastern Visayas failed, and this follows Typhoon Kalmagi, which killed 204 in the Philippines and 5 in Vietnam. Typhoon Kalmagi has left a trail of destruction across Vietnam's Dak Lac province. 6 people have been reported dead or injured, and over 1,100 houses were damaged or collapsed. The typhoon made landfall in central Vietnam late on Thursday, uprooting trees, damaging homes and triggering power outages before weakening as it moved inland. More than 54,000 aquaculture cages and several fishing boats were destroyed by strong winds and waves. Local authorities have deployed rescue forces to assist recovery and restore normalcy. Power supply remains are disrupted. The province is now assessing total losses to provide aid to the affected residents.
We have reviewed and recorded the damages to promptly allocate funds from the provincial budget and government support to help affected residents. Military and police forces are also preparing plans to assist in the recovery and repair of hundreds of fishing boats washed ashore.
A powerful tornado tore through southern Brazil on Friday. In Paraná, state officials reported that rescue operations were underway in Rio Bonito do Iguaçu following the tornado. 6 deaths are confirmed with at least 750 injured. 90% of homes and public buildings remain damaged by winds reaching 250 kilometers per hour. The government has extended the state of public calamity, releasing emergency funds and federal aid. About 1,000 displaced people are staying at Laranjeiras do Sul shelters. Firefighters are clearing debris along with restoration of power and water. 3 days of official mourning to honor victims amid ongoing intensive care for the injured continues. Fire and Emergency New Zealand reported on Sunday that 8 helicopters and 3 planes are combating a wildfire burning 1,100 hectares in Tongariro National Park. Aerial assistance will assess the damage on Sunday with full containment expected after a day of operations. 6 fire trucks and 5 tankers supported the ground efforts. 40 hikers were airlifted on Saturday, 9 more evacuated on Sunday morning. Overnight operations paused for safety in the rugged terrain of this popular central North Island hiking area. A massive fire at a perfume warehouse in northwestern Turkey killed 6 people, including 2 teenage girls. The blaze broke out on Saturday morning in Dilovasi, which is about 70 kilometers from Istanbul. 5 others were injured, 1 critically, as firefighters worked swiftly to contain the flames. Officials confirmed that the warehouse owner and 2 senior staff members were arrested following the incident. Authorities have launched an investigation to determine the cause of the fire. The Turkish Labour Ministry has also suspended 7 civil servants linked to social and labour oversight. Images from Turkish media showed 2 floors of the warehouse completely destroyed. In South Korea, the body of another worker was recovered on Sunday from under the rubble following last Thursday's deadly collapse of a boiler tower at a thermal power plant in the southeastern city of Ulsan. The boiler tower at Ulsan branch of Korea East-West Power, a state-run utility, collapsed on Thursday while in the process of being demolished, initially trapping 7 workers. As rescue operations continued, firefighters pulled the body of a 44-year-old victim from the debris on Sunday morning, following the recovery of 2 bodies last Friday. The confirmed death toll from the collapse rose to 3 as of Sunday. 2 others are presumed dead and believed to still be trapped under the debris, while the exact location of the remaining 2 workers is not yet confirmed. A quick look at other stories making it to the headlines from across the world. UK's King Charles and Queen Camilla led the royal family at the Festival of Remembrance in London, held at the Royal Albert Hall. The event marked 80 years since World War II ended. Music, tributes and a 2-minute silence honoured the fallen soldiers. Two Kenyan human rights activists have been released after spending 39 days in Ugandan detention. They were taken during a rally supporting opposition leader Bobi Wine. Their release came after widespread outrage and diplomatic pressure from the Kenyan government. In Paris, people gathered to mark 10 years since the November 13 attacks. Candles, flowers and messages were placed at Place de la République. The tribute honoured 130 victims killed in the 2015 terror attacks. In northern France, thousands gathered in Calais to witness a magical show by La Machine Theatre Company. The latest creation, the travelling Véran, wowed the crowd with its massive moving machine and stunning performances. The 3-day event turned the city into a stage of wonder and has now become a new symbol of Calais. You're watching DD India News. We're heading for a short break, but after the break, Yannick Sinner and Carlos Alcaraz set to face each other at the ATP Finals. Madurai's Vandiyur, Mari Amman, Tepakulam, Brim's post-monsoon revives the traditions.
Jharkhand will mesmerize you with majestic nature, rich heritage and colorful culture.
Hello. Johar.
Johar. It fits perfectly.
Thank you.
Full workout हो गया.
Ready?
Postcards from Jharkhand on National Geographic.
Welcome back after the break. You're watching DD India News Hour. Let's get to updates from the world of sports now. We'll talk of chess first. 4 Indian grandmasters have advanced to the 4th round of the FIDE World Cup in Panji, city of Goa. While reigning world champion Gukesh was eliminated in the 3rd round after losing a 2-game match to Denmark's Fredrik Swain. R. Pragananda defeated Armenia's Robert Havanezan. Arjun Ergaizi, Pentala Harikrishna and Pranav Venkatesh drew their matches to move into the 4th round. 10 Indians had made it to the 3rd round of the championship, which is being played as a single elimination knockout tournament. Novak Djokovic won the 101st title of his career when he came from behind to beat Lorenzo Musetti 4-6, 6-3, 7-5 in the final of the Hellenic Championship in Athens. The Serb is one of the just 3 men to have bagged a century of titles. He still needs 2 to equal Roger Federer's tally, while Jimmy Connors heads the list with 109 trophies. At 38 years and 5 months old, the 24-time Grand Slam winner is the oldest tournament winner since Australia's Ken Rosewall, who was 43 when he won in Hong Kong in 1977. It was Djokovic's 2nd title of 2025, having won in Geneva in May. Meanwhile, Djokovic has pulled out of the ATP finals with a shoulder injury. He will be replaced by Musetti. Elena Rybakina clinched her biggest title since Wimbledon in 2022 by defeating world number 1 Aryna Sabalenka 6-3, 7-6 at the WTA finals in Riyadh. The world number 6 put on yet another serving masterclass and was at her returning best. She has become the first Kazakh and the first player representing an Asian country to lift the WTA finals trophy. Her winning streak now stands at 11 matches and she improved her head-to-head record against Sabalenka to 6-8. Rybakina was the last of the 8 players in the singles field to qualify for the WTA finals in Riyadh. She will finish the year ranked number 5. And still with tennis, world number 1 Yannick Sinner and his close rival Carlos Alcaraz are set to headline the ATP finals beginning in Italy on Sunday. Both the players aim to cap their seasons with a prestigious year-ending title. The ATP finals will feature the top 8 players from the season competing in 2 round-robin groups. The tournament will conclude on 16th of November in Turin. The two rivals, currently vying for the world number 1 spot to end the year, expressed excitement and determination ahead of the event.
I'm excited and I'm really motivated to do a good performance here, to play a good tennis, giving myself the chance to try to win it. So let's see. But obviously the number 1 spot is on the line as well. So I think it's going to be really interesting for the people to watch the matches, to follow really closely everything. So I think it's going to be a great and interesting week.
Yeah, I'm very happy to be here. You know, it's the last tournament we play. Let's see what's coming, but I'm very happy to play in Italy once again after Rome. Coming back here in Turin after last year, it's great, and we all hope for a great event.
Arsenal's 10-game winning run came to an end as Brian Brobby's last gasp goal gave Sunderland a dramatic 2-each draw against the Premier League leaders. Former Arsenal defender Dan Ballard fired Sunderland ahead with a powerful finish that ended the Gunners' run of 8 consecutive clean sheets in all competitions. Bukayo Saka levelled with a composed finish in the 54th minute before Leandro Trossard smashed Arsenal into the lead. Arsenal were within touching distance of an 11th successive victory in all competitions, but Brobby stabbed home to earn a point in the 4th minute of the stoppage time. It was the first time Arsenal had failed to win in any competition since a 1-each draw with Manchester City in September. Manchester City's Pep Guardiola will take charge of his 1000th game as a manager when his side face Liverpool on Sunday. Former Spain midfielder Guardiola is regarded as one of the best coaches of all times, winning a combined 12 domestic league titles with Barcelona, Bayern Munich and City, as well as 3 Champions Leagues and numerous other cups as well. While his overall win rate is more than 70%, Liverpool have been a tough nut for Guardiola to crack since he arrived in City in 2016. He has only won 7 of his 27 meetings against Liverpool, losing 10 as Liverpool dethroned City as Premier League champions. Guardiola said that he could not wish for a better fixture to mark the milestone. Sunday's game could determine which of the two clubs are more likely to try to chase down Arsenal at the top of the standings. Madurai's Vandiyur, Mariamman, Tepakulam is now brimming after the monsoon rains, restoring its historic charm and vibrant waters. Locals and visitors alike are flocking to enjoy the scenic beauty and take part in the temple's age-old traditions. Take a look. With that, we end this edition of DD India News Hour, but let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those of you on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the DD India mobile app. This app is available on both Android and iOS platforms, and you can download the respective QR codes. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Preeti Kaur signing off, and from all of us here in Delhi, thanks for watching DD India News Hour.